Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Let's hydrate ourselves, get back all comfy for the next talk. We have Professor Shin from Korea, all the way from Korea, on her talk that she's giving today. So let's give her a really, really warm applause. Thank you for me for listening my presentation. I'm grateful for present the study of research in this conference. This work is supported by Ministry of Education of Republic of Korea and the National Research Foundation Korea. The reasons to choose this subject is that the personal information protection is important using artificial intelligence services. Before I present my presenter, I want to explain the artificial intelligence service using personal information increased in the world, and public information increasement actions are also continuously occurring. So the government and the corporations are trying to suggest measures to protect against personal information infringement actions. Further, the standard for is ambiguous. So therefore, today I want to explain the comprehension of personal information protection and risk management by linking AI service provisions process and personal information processing. We call these days intelligence information society. The artificial intelligence service is being provided only in public sectors as well as also in the private sector. As various data are combined in process of provide the AI services, the personal information can be identified, collected, misused. For example, personal information was collected by from the mobile device with artificial intelligence technology without the consent of users. So, in the progress of collections and process information in various fields, personal information is sometimes incredibly or can be identified. So, personal information collected is needed to bigger standards. Especially it is protect personal information in AI services and to operate the same in personal information process, personal information infringement response and crisis management compliance must be prepared. Of course, the Personal Information Protection Committee distributed the artificial intelligence personal information protection checklist for the companies, but it is not detailed. However, to link personal information process in AI services, process device or components that can cause personal information infringement and use it to standard for personal information infringement response and crisis management compliance. So I surveyed experts' opinion and by the FGI and Delphi and surveyed by the Cardiff 5-point scales. And today I will be show you some of the results following my result. At first, I tried to find some of the examples. For example, by in personal information infringement infringement by the AI service. So some of the data shows some infringement to some of the programs, and so I think it leads to some of the standards to the personal information. It is shows some of progresses of personal information processes with AI services, so data collection and process cleaning and process and cleansing and AI developing and utilization. And Australia's Ministry of Industry, Science and Energy also have some assessment framework for AI system. It is categorized in 5 category risks and is one of the responsible some of the 8 principles of A. It shows also some of the risks 4 levels. So I selected this one to I surveyed some of the crisis management compliance for personal information infringement factors to protect from surveys study framework. This study tried to prepare the risk management compliance for personal information infringement factors to protect personal information in process of provide artificial intelligence services. First indicators was primarily derived through the existing domestic and foreign literature research based on the existing research. Second, in the progress, the in-depth FGI and DEFI survey. And third, the questionnaire surveys conducted from February 32 and February 15, 2022, related to the related experts. Finally, based on the results derived in the way the study was proposed and response framework for each influential factors by composing calculations method for risk of personal information business. And then I want to explain about it more detail. It's like it's categorized. It's each level separated. At first, I separated 3 processes, and then each process separated in the each step, and then each step separated infringement factors. So first, in the service planning, data design and collection processes, infringement factors were composed of stages such as planning and design and collections. Planning design is composed by 6 factors, and collections step is separated 8 factors. I refer from some data, and already I wrote this importance is as a result of the survey. And second, in the treatment and purification process, each personal information infringement factor was configured in the stage of transform procession. It is separated 8 factors. User provisions is separated 7 factors, and consignment stage is separated 2, and this destruction step is separated 4 factors. First one, transform and position stages is separated as like 8 factors, and then it is referred from the literature study and literature, and then I already survey. I show the results of the survey before I show the last result, and usually provision sector stage is separated with the 7 factors, things like that, and each it is also referred from the literature, and I surveyed by the experts, and the result of is show the importance stage like that. And concern stage is separated into 2 factors, and it shows as an infringement factor, and it is also compared to it is also following the literature, but it is shown in my article, and then the result is things like the importance. Destruction is separated the 4 factors, and also it is shown the sum of research, and then I show the sum of the result. I asked I reviewed the experts by things like that, and then I surveyed and then show the results like that. I considered about the paper, so I show the slide together. Last third level is AR, algorithm development and utilization process. It is separated 4 stages. It is show the personal information infringement factors described in the process, transform, and projection. It is separated in the 9 factors as like that, and it shows also the reference and the result of survey. Using a provision stage is also separated the 9 factors, and it is also some it is a presentation slide show you the result of the survey together. And destructions also separated the 5 factors as like the slide, and the reference by the something is like reference is from the literature, and the importance is the result of the survey. So so this one is show us the differences things like that. So I surveyed this subject. The survey the subject is I want to compare with the importance of the component, the factors what happened in the related personal information infringement in AI services. So I surveyed the form is cut to 5-point scale, and I surveyed from the from February 30 to February 15, and I surveyed target is expert related AI for personal information protection or information security or IT policy. And then the result is the proper significant proper is consequent, and then issue or transaction personal information and sort of part. I following the after then survey, I tried the calculations of imprisonment and invasions of rate. So I considered about the degrees of risk as following the table. So first one is Korea. Some of agencies show using the PIA. So I following the PIA, the level. So I using this table. And so 5 point of possibility and degree of personal information infringement. And this one is accept value. It is the impact of personal information. It is separated in 3 grades. The level is 5 point. So I'm using this one, and before I solve that, and I'm using the sum of the infringement factors. So I calculated some personal information infringement risk. So after then, I will be basic of 100 point, and then I calculated the the point of personal information impact and plus possible infringement and legal compliance and multiply to is PIA and calculation formulation. And so I using this one, and so I calculated the risk of personal information infringement by the survey result, and then I separated the 5 level, and after result the calculate, we will be following the detailed activity to protect the personal information. And so I simulated the score of the survey, and I using this score of survey, if we using the data is for medical care, and then I will be calculated the risk. The point is 88.7, so it is high risk level. So I should be following this. If the high risk level, the personal information, we should be following the performing improvement measures are taking according to the result of the PIA fund as like that, and establishes plan to mitigate the risk of infringement, such as internal or external monitors of the risk of personal information infringement and other risks also. And then, so if using the project, the government also give us the self checklist as like that. So I give some of the checklist as like that. It is following the infringement factors. So it's like it is also separated with the risk compliance management systems before I show you. And then it is also following is like this one, each stage and how they protect personal information. And then if we, in conclusion, I just want to summarize my presentation today. I explained as follows. To provide artificial intelligence services, this study tried to prepare the risk management compliance as measures to strengthen personal information protection to solve the risk of personal information infringement to occurs from service planning stages to algorithms AI algorithm utilizing stage. This study system standards was prepared by collecting the opinions of experts and surveys. Experts was conducted the appropriate estimates of each element. And accordingly, the calculation method is of determining the risk level based on the 10 points of connections with the probability of occurrence. by checking the personal information infringement risk factors, selecting the by based on the assessed values of the personal information derived. Using this risk management compliance it is necessary to prepare and improve internal or external response systems standards and response scenarios so that appropriate response can be made according to the risk of personal information infringement. In response of this, it was suggested the prevent protection activity should be carried out by using the personal information infringement factors to prepare the practical improvement as a personal information protection of sense. As described above, like that, this study needs to continue so that the result improve the safety in AI services can be brought about by utilization system privacy, personal information protection compliance. Thank you.
Very much for a wonderful presentation. And yes, I'll open the floor for questions, please. Yes.
This was I'm sorry, I was just taking notes here because I have students, and you and I talked about this a little bit earlier. So this was you clearly put a lot of work into this, right? So one of the questions that I have for you is, now that you've done all of this, have you taken it back to either industry, government, stakeholders, right? How are they viewing what you found, essentially? What are they doing with this? Because this is wonderful.
Thank you. In Korea, will be applied to the scholarship. It's kind of scholarship. If they want to study of the subject, they will be to apply to the foundations of Korea, study some of the government system, and then they evaluated many some documents, and then they selected levels. They selected the some subject, and they give us some period after this month is last month. So today I present this article and this result of my survey.
I've got two questions. The first one is, what are you going to do for your future work? Considering the sample space, are you going to interview more expert knowledge to increase the number of people interviewed and probably get more holistic views and therefore enrich your model? What are your plans for your future work?
If I have a chance, I want to simulate this standard for many places, and then if it will be possible, I want to publish the standards of risk management system, the compliance, and to record from other people that study.
Yeah, someone wanted to before I go. Okay.
You can go to the procedure section.
So my one, the other one, just for clarification, you put allocated some points to various. All right. So your probability there is 5 points, and the infringement part is 9, and the asset value is 5 points. How did you come about this number?
I concerned about the 100 points, and the 9 point is calculated each factors because all of factors is 9 stages. Each stage is 1 point, but you saw the each stage is some difference. Something is 4 factors, something is 9 factors, but all of the things is in 1 point.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I had a related question actually. Did you look at other risk management scores? Because there's so many different varieties of risk scores that are out there. Did you look at any of the other ones and base yours along those lines as well?
Until now, it's the first one, but I tried to find other things.
Yeah.
The Australia risk management system is my ideal model. Yeah, they already calculated things like that, but they showed some simply response to the risk. So I want each process of personal information process protection is needed to the response by the risk from the risk of personal information infringement factors.